Hey! Yummy. Ah.
Men, don't go with hookers. Now I know you go on the porn channels and you see all these beautiful women. And you know what you want to do? You want to go f those women. But there's a lot of reasons to not go with hookers. You're in bed after making love for the second or third time with some woman that you think is really great. Oh God, I think I've really found somebody. She's telling you about her great relationship that she had before, but then it went sour because he didn't want to commit. You know, and he had a couple of kids. They didn't like me. I don't know what to do with that. All real normal human stuff. Well, what about you? Now, either you lie to your lover, oh, I don't know, I haven't been going with anybody much, or, and you lie, every time you lie, you create a separation which ruins things, really interferes with sex as it turns out. That's the truth, it interferes with sex when you lie. You haven't had sex since you're divorced 5 years ago? Well, yeah, I've had sex. What do you mean you've had sex? Well, I went with some hookers. You know, you don't want to look into your lover's face and see that disgust. Oh, and God, you go to the hooker when you're married? You go to the hooker when you're married, your wife finds out about it. There's this particular place in hell for poor guys whose wives have found out that they went with hookers. You know, going with a hooker, even though it really isn't as much of a relationship as f***ing your secretary, is much ickier to your wife than going with your secretary. If you go with the same hooker for a while, you know what's going to happen? You're going to fall in love with her. And say you happen to have some cash. You fall in love with her and you go, well, I just fall in love. I want to see her more often. You start seeing her more often. And then you know what you do? You go, I don't think I want you to go out tonight. You mean you don't want me to go out tonight? I'm a hooker. I don't want you to f*** other guys. You know what? F*** other guys? I'm a hooker. That's what I do. I f*** other guys. Hooker culture is very much like the culture in a strip club. You are making them an object because you just want to fuck them or you want to see them dance naked or something, but then you are an object. You are just a fucking paycheck to her. Also, hookers are wounded women most of the time. Yeah, my stepfather raped me for 2 or 3 years. My mother could give a fuck about it. Oh yeah, I was neglected. You know, I had to kind of fend for myself. If they're a hooker, they're not getting out of their wound. They're just wounding themselves more. And you know what you're doing? You're climbing into their wound and you're expanding their wound. Boy, that's really sexy, isn't it? So you have to deny all that stuff and objectify them even further. And now you're practicing taking a lot of fantasy into your sexuality rather than intimacy. And the best sex is intimacy and sexuality together. That is the best sex. That is the most fun. That is the best time. You know, you want to have some great sexual experience. Take that money that you were going to spend on a hooker and you find some great therapist in the wild someplace. And first, you learn how to be a good guy, present, know how to relate, know how to hook up, know how to have sex, you know, lead in the dance, learn your masculine energy and all that other stuff. And then find some woman who wants to do a practice with you of making better and better and better sex. So you can bring a little objectification into it, you can bring a little fantasy into it, bring almost anything that you want into it if you're doing it with fun and with love and with pleasure with another person. That's where the great sex is. That's where it lives. That's where you can have it, and that is a gift that keeps giving. That is a spring that never goes dry. And you know, you don't have to drop $500 every time you do it. You know, you really don't. Don't go to a hooker. It's not a shortcut to bliss. It's a shortcut to hell. Priceless advice from Dr. Keith Witt, the therapist in the wild.